Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll discuss top 10 SQL interview questions. Let's start without any further ado. The first question: what are the different categories of SQL sub-languages and briefly explain the purpose? The first one is DDL, Data Definition Language. It is used to define the structure of a database, including creating and modifying database objects, such as tables, views, indexes, and constraints. The second one is DML, Data Manipulation Language. It is used to manipulate the data in a database, including retrieving, inserting, updating, and deleting data from tables. The third one is DCL, Data Control Language. It is used to manage the security and access of a database, including creating users, granting or revoking permissions, and setting up security policies. The last one is Transaction Control Language, TCL. It is used to manage transactions in a database, including starting, committing, or rolling back transactions. Second question: how do you perform data validation and data cleansing in SQL? This question is very important. Data validation and cleansing are important steps in the data analysis process to ensure that the data is accurate, consistent, and in the right format. The first one is check for null or missing values. Use the is null or is not null operators to check if a value is missing or not. Second one, check for data types. Use the cast or convert functions to change the data type of a column or value. Remove duplicates. Use the distinct keyword to remove duplicates from a table. Check for data outliers. Use the average, max, and min functions to identify outliers or extreme values in a dataset. Specific methods used will be dependent on the type of data being analyzed and the specific requirements of the analysis. Third one, how do you retrieve data from multiple tables using joins in SQL? To retrieve data from multiple tables using joins in SQL, you can use the following syntax. Select column 1, column 2 from table 1, join table 2 on table 1 dot column equals to table 2 dot column. Here are some of the examples of different types of joins that we can use to retrieve data from multiple tables. The first one is inner join, returns only the rows that have matching values in both the tables. Left join returns all the rows from the left table and matching rows from the right table. Right join returns all the rows from the right table and matching rows from the left table. Full outer join return all the rows from both the tables. The specific join you will use depend upon the relationship between the tables and the data you want to retrieve. Explain the concept of null in SQL and how it's handled in queries. In SQL, null is a special marker used to indicate that a data value does not exist in the database or is unknown. Null is not the same as a zero or an empty string. It cannot be compared with the usual operators like equals to, less than, or greater than. Instead, the value null requires a special syntax to handle it in queries. To handle null values in SQL queries, you need to use the is null and is not null operators. Another way to handle null values in SQL queries is to use the collage function, which returns the first non-null value in a list of expression. This will replace the null values with another expression. This question is very important. Moving on, what is the purpose of group by and having clause in SQL? How having clause is different from the where clause. In SQL, the group by clause is used to group rows in a table based on one or more columns, and the having clause is used to filter groups of rows based on a condition that applies to the group as a whole. The where clause is applied to the original rows of the table, whereas the having clause is applied to the groups of rows after they have been grouped by the group by clause. Moving on, how do you handle duplicate records in a table using SQL? So this has a very simple answer. There are several ways to handle duplicate records in a table using SQL depending on the specific scenario and the desired outcome. You can use the distinct keyword with select statement to eliminate duplicate records from the results, and you can use the delete statement with a subquery to remove duplicate records from a table. You can use the group by clause with count function to identify the number of duplicates for each combination of columns. Moving on, what is an index? Explain its different types. A database index is a data structure that provides a quick lookup of data in a column or columns of a table. There are unique and non-unique indexes and clustered and non-clustered indexes as well. So first, unique indexes are indexes that help maintain data integrity by ensuring that no two rows of data in a table have identical key values. Non-unique indexes, on the other hand, are used solely to improve querying performance by maintaining a sorted order of data values that are used frequently. On the other hand, clustered and clustered indexes are indexes whose order of the rows in the database corresponds to the order of the rows in the index. A non-clustered index creates a separate entity within the table which references the original table. Next question, what are truncate, delete and drop statements? What are the major differences between them? This question is asked a hell lot of times in a lot of interviews. So yeah, this is very important. Truncate removes all rows from a table. Delete removes specific rows based on a condition. Drop removes a database object. Truncate is faster than delete. In delete, rollback is possible, while in truncate, rollback is not possible. Drop removes the entire database object, including its structure, while truncate only removes the data from a table but preserves its structure. Moving on, what are aggregate and scalar functions? This question is very easy, and this is what we all know. Aggregate functions are used to perform calculations on a set of values and return a single value as the result. Scalar functions, on the other hand, are used to perform calculations on a single value and return a single value as a result. Some of the examples of aggregate functions are listed below: average, count, min, max, sum, first, last. Examples of scalar functions are len, ucase, uppercase, lowercase, mid, concat, rand, round, now, format. Moving on to the last question, how to extract year, month or day from a date, and how do you calculate the difference between the two dates in a SQL? Using extract function, one can extract the year, month or day. The syntax for the extract function is extract date part from date expression. Like date part can be year, month or day. To calculate the difference between two dates in SQL, one can use the dated_if function. You can use the dated_if function in the following syntax: interval, comma, start date, comma, end date. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Please like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more such content.